I'm Nyesha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
Good morning and welcome to the challenge. As always, we'd like to first and foremost thank God for another opportunity and thank you, the viewers, for tuning in. I'm here this morning with my very lovely and vivacious co-host, Mackenzie Selden. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm well. Good to see you this morning. Mackenzie, I want to delve right into it. I am very, very concerned about us as a community, if you will, and our owning up to our responsibility to each other. You know, my Bible says, am I my brother's keeper? And I think, quite frankly, that the answer to that is an emphatic yes, we are. We have a responsibility to each other. And that being the case, a couple of things. A recent article in the paper talks about Doc Hurley and his family. Doc Hurley, who is a legend in the greater Hartford community. Hartford is capital city of the city of Connecticut. Doc Hurley has been responsible for a number of individuals doing extremely well with their lives and their careers. And there was a foundation, if you will, that was laid, and Doc, epitomized what was necessary in order to lift people up out of this poverty or an impoverished life, and aspire to do something great and to do things that were good, not just for themselves but for the community. But it's been tainted recently, and a fund that was raised to continue to honor Doc's legacy now is come into question. Breaks your heart, but as a young lady who has, obviously had an opportunity to attend undergraduate and that sort of thing, how important is it that people like Doc Hurley and foundations like Doc Hurley continue to remain relevant to our well-being in this community?
Well, Russell, it's pretty much crucial.
Okay.
You know, foundations like that need to stay alive. They need to give that hope to students that there is something beyond high school, that they can get there despite whatever means, background that they come from.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really too bad that, Doc Hurley's legacy is being, tainted, and it's kind of falling. We as a community don't want that. He's kind of like a celebrity pretty much in Hartford.
He is, yeah.
He really is. And just the idea that this was started over 40 years ago,
wow.
And they were giving as little as, a few dollars, and just to be able to build that up.
Sure.
To give kids money for books or even pay for a semester in school.
Right.
That's important, because a lot of these kids that are getting these scholarships have no idea how they're going to pay for college, because their parents can't afford it,
right.
And they can work a little job, but that job is not going to be enough to pay for them to go to school.
Right.
So, it kind of comes to the point where I need to work, I need to help support my family, but I still want to go to college. Well, I guess I'm going to go to the community college because that's all I can afford. And student loans, you'll be paying student loans for the rest of your life,
It would seem, yeah.
A lot of people
huge,
don't want to get into that type of debt as well.
Absolutely.
So I think that it's really crucial for foundations like the Doc Hurley Foundation to stay alive, to stay afloat, to be able to give, like I said, those students that hope that there is something past, what they just see in their immediate future.
Sure. I think that Doc Hurley must be, really saddened by it. But I think that we ought to, as a community, be equally as sad because it's happened kind of on our watch. And as much as we know that it was kind of a family structured foundation, what was our responsibility? Should we have, broke the doors down and tried to, insist that we be more a part of it? Should we I don't know, maybe just agreed to, to work with those people who were in the foundation, despite the trouble that was obvious. What do you think? What is
Well, I think a couple things. One, I think that as a community, we can say a lot of things, we can ask a lot of questions, but it doesn't mean that we're going to get the answers that we need. They're asking a lot of questions now, and they're not getting the answers that they need.
Right.
And that's the government asking the questions. So who knows what kind of questions the community could ask and get the appropriate answers that need to be given.
Sure.
Also, I feel like, yes, it should have been more of a what's going on,
Right.
how come you're not doing this, or how come there aren't any scholarships coming to these schools, why don't we have any applications?
Yeah.
It's been 5 years since they gave scholarship.
Right.
Even had the applications in the school.
Right.
So schools that normally get the application every single year should have been like, hey, how come we didn't get any scholarship applications this year?
Yeah.
Simple question like that.
Yeah.
To try to get, the ball continuously rolling and let somebody else know that, this is something that is important, and we don't want it to just fall by the wayside.
Absolutely.
We're interested. We're still want to know what's going on. We're still we still want to be a part of this foundation. We still want to help these students, instead of kind of just letting it fall out of sight, out of mind.
Right. It kind of puts you in the mindset of a person, if you will, who is struggling almost with an addiction, who doesn't really know what to do about it. And really, it has kind of happened upon them without them fully recognizing it. But,
And I think that's the problem.
Yeah.
We, as a community, a lot of times don't like to ask for help.
Yeah.
And, that's why I feel like the foundation is in the situation it's in, because people didn't want to ask for help sooner. And it's not, you shouldn't let your pride come in the way of doing what's right.
Absolutely.
And making sure that if you can't take care of it, then find somebody else that can.
Absolutely.
Because if you just bring it all on yourself, I can do it, then when you can't do it, it's like, oh, what am I going to do now?
Yeah.
Now it's too late.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to just kind of cover it up.
Right.
And now the situation is so big, there is nothing to cover.
Right.
You can't. There's no
Yeah.
possible way
Yeah.
it's gotten
Yeah.
to this point.
Yeah.
But if you had maybe thought, okay, I don't have the time,
Right.
I don't
Right.
have the energy
Right.
to put in as much work as I want to
Sure.
for this that
Sure.
it deserves,
Yep.
then find somebody else that can.
Yeah.
And even there's plenty of people that, number one, need jobs. There's plenty of people out there, college students, that you might not be able to pay them a lot,
Right.
but they can get the experience,
Sure.
they can get a little money in their pocket. I'm sure that they would have done it. At least they could help,
Yeah.
in some aspects of what needs to be done.
Yeah.
Because there's plenty of jobs, I'm sure, that the foundation needed, that would have
yeah.
at least made the workload a little bit easier for the people in charge.
And I think that unfortunately, in a lot of the organizations, if you will, in the community, as well as they mean, and as much as they might sound as if they are trying to address issues, I think what you've just outlined is a big part of the reason why those organizations don't function the way that they should, is because we have been unwilling to allow others to be a part of resolving issues and addressing problems within it. And what do you think that's about? Is that insecurity? Is that
Exactly.
is that what it is?
I think so. And
okay.
selfishness. It's the foundation is not about you or
Right.
It's about what we're serving, the communities that we're
Right.
serving, the people that we're serving.
Right.
That should be the forefront. And it shouldn't matter if I ask 10 people to help me to do something for these people,
Right.
other than just myself.
Right.
Yes, of course, one person always wants to get the credit, and
Right.
that's where I feel like the problem lies in. I want to get the credit. I want to be the person that they're thanking me. They're thanking me.
Yeah.
When, it's not about you.
Yeah.
Really, when it comes down to it, it's not about you. It's
Right.
about the work that you're doing.
Right.
So stay in the background.
Right.
People that know what you're doing, and then they'll thank you. But you don't need to be in a public light or in front of everybody and
Right.
have all the attention saying,
Right.
oh, thank you.
Right.
If you get a thank you from a student that calls you on the phone and says, thank you so much for that scholarship money. I was able to get my books for the last 2 years. That should mean more to you than being in front of a crowd and accepting an award.
Yeah. I always heard these people during my tenure, if you will, as branch president with the NAACP, talk about wanting younger people to become more involved and wanting to give them the opportunity to lead and wanting them to, to be, somehow connected to, the efforts. But it seems to me we're doing a terrible job of getting younger folk involved in stuff and giving them the opportunity to lead and being supportive of them. Would you agree with that?
I would. If you want younger people to come in and help and be, like you said, leaders, you have to give them the opportunity to lead. You can't be in their ear on one side being a puppeteer,
right?
Trying to tell them what to do,
right? Or
being negative if they decide to make a decision for the group. You can't say, oh, no, that's not the right decision.
Right.
It's not your decision to make.
Right.
You want this person to try to make a decision. If they make a mistake, that's what being a leader is about, making mistakes, but learning from those mistakes and changing it.
Yeah.
But you have to have a new set of ideas, new set of, just passion that will help help the foundation to grow.
And new energy, too.
Exactly.
Yeah, because some of these things, in order for them to come to any level of fruition, it's going to take, like you said, that compassion and that energy to actually, have it be something that people can appreciate. And I think that, unfortunately, we haven't done enough to make sure that younger folks, are really given the opportunity to make those kinds of mistakes. Doc Hurley Foundation is a bit tragic. It's a scholarship foundation that's provided mainly scholarships for athletes. But what about the academic folks? Those folks who, those kids who, I think are being, less visible. What can we do now, or what kinds of activities can be done now? I've been talking about, and one of the things that's been going through my mind is, why don't we do some of those thons, those walkathons, those marathons sort of thing for our own community to help to support, to enhance the opportunities for kids who are coming up now. What do you think? What kind of ideas should we be throwing out now to meet this challenge that we have, to try to change the direction that we seem to be heading in our community?
Well, I agree that the walkathons, walk for whatever, organization or whatever cause that might be out there are good ways to raise money. I think that everybody has to walk, though. I think that we need to kind of expand the idea, the creative pool, and see what are other things that the community are interested in. It could be as simple as a block party, something like that, and, to raise a little money. I always think of in Sister Act 2, when they were raising money for the kids to go on the trip, they had like a party and they were passing the collection plate around, and people were putting money in there because they were having a good time. And also, they also understood that this is giving these kids that never probably have an opportunity for something to be able to go and do something different. And I think that the community needs to understand that we need to give our kids different opportunities. We need to give them different visions and different chances to do something that's not in the small community of Hartford. Go experience different cultures and become more cultured, I would say. Go to theater, go to things that normally our minority students wouldn't be doing.
Right. Well, I tell you, we certainly know how to party.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
You mentioned party, most people will show up.
Exactly. Give them a couple dollars, and that is that, and know that money is going to go to the kids. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people are thinking, why am I going to give my last $5 when I don't even know if you're going to use it for that? What is this money getting used towards? And I think that once you show the results of what your money has been used towards, that will kind of help bring more and more people. Okay, they are giving that money to take them on a trip to New York, or to take them here or there or whatnot, so that they can see different things. Once they see those results, more people will be interested in being involved.
We have to be more accountable. We have to be more transparent, as they say. If you raise $100, say you raise $100, if it costs you $70 to raise $100, say $70 were your expenses, and you netted $30 as profit from the activity, and then determine, well, 30%. Profits are usually small. 30% profit is pretty good, relatively speaking. Because it does cost to put on certain activities.
Exactly, of course.
But what we want to do, I think, is to figure out ways that we can stimulate our own economies, if you will, and stimulate people, and in fact, continue to cultivate the talent that exists within our community, be it athletic or academic or whatever the case may be, become self-sustainable as a community. Mackenzie, the challenges are many. They are many, and we'll continue to talk about them. This particular show has unfortunately come to a quick end, and we'll have to continue to raise the issues and continue to talk about them, and hopefully those folks who are listening and those people who tune in will feel the urge to become more involved themselves. Thank you for tuning in to this segment of The Challenge, and as always, be blessed.